of the Emerson Mnangagwa coup, that is in 2017. We saw Emerson Mnangagwa as soon as he had actually dislodged Robert Gabriel Mugabe alongside his then foreign minister, that is Sibusiso SP Moyo, going to Western countries to beg for foreign investments, promising them that he will democratize Zimbabwe, even though he was asked to apologize on the past injustices such as Kukuraunde genocide that Mnangagwa had previously done so that he can take the country forward. He refused to do so on various media platforms. And he went in all Western countries you can imagine. He was interviewed, questioned on whether he was going to actually make Zimbabwe to be a democratic country. He pledged that he was going to do so, pledging even to compensate the victims of the 1999 to 2000 fast track land reform program by making them to sign a global agreement, which shows that Mnangagwa was desperate to amend relations between as well as the Western countries. Stay tuned on this live broadcast as I will be exposing the double standards of Emerson Mnangagwa now that he is in Russia and trying to lure Eastern Europe to invest in Zimbabwe. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel. That is the Hloniphani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time on Beam Live, guess what? You become the very first one to watch us. So, Mnangagwa, when he was made president through the coup of 2017, one of the, his first priority in his foreign policy, he ran to the Western countries. He was, in Britain, he was all over Europe, with a begging bowel, promising European countries that he was going to democratize Zimbabwe. They should come and invest in Zimbabwe, marketing Zimbabwe as actually a country that is conducive for investments. But guess what? When he realized that the West were not buying into his deception, what did Mnangagwa do? He started now to see that the desperation I have been working on to bring the Western countries on my corner is not working. That is why there is the global agreement with the white farmers. Mnangagwa was willing to pay 3.5 billion to compensate the former white farmers. If you remember, at one point, the white farmers in Zimbabwe were attending his rallies because they were promised heaven and earth. Most of them were even joining ZANU-PF because they were promised that they were going to be compensated. Some they were promised even farms. He is playing double standards, especially when it comes to land reform. That is why he has introduced now title deeds and saying the owners of the farms can sell them. What if they sell to the white people? Again, that is what is actually putting the war veterans on the edge. When he realized that he could not compensate the white farmers, when he realized that the Western countries saw who Mnangagwa was, that he is a dictator, that he is just like Robert Gabriel Mugabe. Now he is running to the Russians as well as Belarusians and these other Chinese countries. They became the second option for Mnangagwa. Yes, that's the truth. He did not run to China. He did not run to Russia the very first time like your Ibrahim Traores of this world. He ran straight to the Western countries, been trying to actually lure them to invest into Zimbabwe, to create good relations with them, but they have been putting the conditions that first of all address the issues of human rights. Make sure that your government has an independent judicial system. Create a constitutional Zimbabwe so that when we put investment into Zimbabwe, if the government actually take advantage advantage of our investments, we can seek actually remedy from the judiciary system. It's something that Emmerson Mnangagwa regime has failed. That is why after he saw that he is failing, that is when he began to actually come up with the Nika Inobakwa Nebene Bayo mantra, mantra. That is when he came up with this mantra, and this mantra is backfiring in a big time because that is what is making him to introduce a number of taxes that is making him actually to increase the prices of even using the roads, the licenses for motorists. That is what is making him now to force the people of Zimbabwe to fund the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation through paying for the license of ZBC, even if they are not watching the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, particularly the motorists. They are making it compulsory for you to pay those radio licenses, even if you don't listen. I know a lot of motorists would not put their cars in the radio to listen to the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation because of the poor standard of the content that it is offering to the people of Zimbabwe. So Mnangagwa, realizing that the West was not coming to the party, what has he done? He is running now to Belarusians. These countries, they are also struggling just like Zimbabwe. That is why you saw them selling Zimbabwe fire engines at a tripled price compared to what to how Mnangagwa can actually get those fire engines, especially from the Western countries. And in essence, they are taking advantage of Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa going to Russia, it is not, Russian investment cannot bring any development because Russia itself, it is under sanctions. It is sanctioned by Western countries as well as the United States of America. So it is actually struggling even to make things work for its very own people. How can it then assist Zimbabwe? So going to Russia is a desperate and a second option, especially for the regime of Emmerson Mnangagwa. It shows that he is a flip-flopper of the North. He's not a president with a principled foreign policy. No, he is a desperate individual trying to build a legacy, but it's quite clear that because of his character, because of his grittiness, that legacy cannot be built by him because the world is seeing who Mnangagwa is. That is why at a world stage, especially at the United Nations General Assembly, if you look at the world leaders who listen to Emmerson Mnangagwa, you can count them. They cannot be more than 20. That is why maybe he decided to boycott the United Nations General Assembly. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that